in the series of 5 tools that we're looking at this week. So EdPuzzle was started in 2013 by a group of teachers, really. And it utilizes YouTube. They have a partnership with YouTube in which they're pulling videos. Their statistics that they share are that 65% of students in our country are visual learners, and then 95% of those kids actively use YouTube on a consistent basis. So utilizing that tool that the kids are using anyways, and again, taking that and bringing it into our world, into an educational setting, is really going to help. EdPuzzle is free. With that free service, you get access to 20. You can create 20 videos in your library. The premium version is $10 a month. I think it's $9.50 a month, and that gives you unlimited storage space and detailed. It gives you detailed data, a little bit more detailed data. Sorry, my son's teacher just came to our front door. Weird. So combining that, all of our kids who utilize YouTube, again, bringing it into the educational setting. It is free. You can create a lot with that free version. It does really help. So I've enlisted our resident experts, Miss Vandersummers and Miss Fodor, who are going to walk us through kind of what that looks like as you're on the teacher's end, as you're setting up EdPuzzle and utilizing your videos.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and present the screen so you guys can follow along and watch. Present, come on.
While she's doing that, the only thing I will add about the free version, I've never run into storage issues. It does limit how many videos that you can actually upload and edit yourself in the storage. I haven't run into that yet, and I've been using it with the distance learning a lot. So I probably wouldn't pay for it unless it absolutely needed to for the storage usage.
All right, can you guys see the screen? I can no longer see any of you, so I just want to make sure you're seeing Ed. Okay, cool. So this is edpuzzle.com. This is what the screen's going to look like when you first get there. So first thing is you're going to want to sign up. The nice part about this, first it's going to ask if you're a teacher or student. Once you tell them it's a teacher, you have the option to sign in with Google. So super simple. I'm going to go ahead and go back because I already have an account. So I'm going to get log in since I'm already on here. But same thing, I'm going to sign in with Google. It's going to pull my Akron account. All right, so I've already set mine up. When you first sign up, it's going to have you tell what content areas you teach so that it can bring up suggestions as you go. So these are what comes up when I pull in. I'm going to go ahead and click on home just so you can see what the home page looks like. So again, because mine is set to world languages, you can see up at the top here, it says trending in world languages. That's what's going to come up for me. Once you guys set your own contents, different suggestions will come up for you. What I like to do with EdPuzzle is to pull videos that people have already made. Why reinvent the wheel, right? So if you look over here on the right-hand side, there's this button called EdPuzzle. So I'm going to click that, and this is going to give me basically the database of every EdPuzzle people have made out there. Now I wanted to show you one just as an example. So up here, there's a search bar. You can type whatever subjects you're looking for. So I'm going to type in Cinco de Mayo since that is going to apply to my class next week. So I have got all these choices. These are already videos people have already edited, put questions in. I found this one earlier. It's a nice one to just kind of give you an idea. So they pulled this video from YouTube. You can see Andrea Colson made it, whoever that is. Everywhere you see these little bubbles at the bottom, she has inserted a question. So as the video goes through, and we'll show you how to do that in a minute, as the video plays, when you get to a bubble, it's not going to move on until you answer. So I do want to play it so we can get to the first bubble so you can see. It's not going to be long.
5 de Mayo, on 5th of May, is a commemoration of the victory of an outnumbered army of Mexicans over the French forces at the Battle of Puebla that took place.
Okay, so before I can move on in this video, I now have a multiple choice question over here I've got to answer. Cinco de Mayo is celebrated in memory of what? I'm either going to choose a Catholic holiday, the defeat of the French by the Mexican forces, or Mexico's Independence Day. Well, had I just listened to the last 11 seconds, I'm going to know that it was that one. And I'm going to submit it. It tells me I got it correct, and then I'm going to move on.
That took place May 5th, 18...
Okay, so every time it gets to one of these bubbles, it's going to show you a different question. I do want to go out and show you how she created that, how she even imported that video. So over here where we had clicked on EdPuzzle, underneath it is YouTube. Okay, so this is where you're going to pull your videos from YouTube. So I can actually pull that exact same video if I wanted it. You can see it right here. If there's a certain YouTube video you want, you can actually type the URL up in this search box. You can type it by the title, whatever the YouTube video is, it is in there. You just have to find it. So I am going to go ahead and go back to that Cinco de Mayo video, just because it's nice and short and easy. Okay, I'm going to click it. It's going to open me up. So this time it's just the YouTube video. If you look down here, notice this time there's no bubbles underneath. Nobody has edited this one. I got to get rid of this box. Let me move this. Hang on. So a couple things you can do here. Okay, the first thing we're going to want to do is hit edit. Okay, we want to make our kids interact with this video. Now, if the video was too long, if I didn't want it, you can actually cut it down. It's actually allowing you to change the video. It would shorten it.
Mexican army, but to...
Okay, that's not something I want to do today. What I want to show you guys is how to add questions. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this back to the beginning here. There are 3 different types of things you can put in here. You can put in multiple choice questions, which is the example you saw a minute ago. You can put in an open-ended question, or you can just add a note. Okay, so as this is playing, I'm going to let it play a couple seconds again.
5 de Mayo, on 5th of May, is a commemoration of the victory of an outnumbered army of Mexicans over the French forces at the Battle of Puebla.
So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to add a question. So this is where I'm going to choose. Do I want multiple choice? Do I want open-ended? Do I want a note? So just for this first one, I'm going to put in multiple choice. So it's going to just walk you right through it. Type your multiple choice question here. What city did the battle take place in? Okay, now down here it's giving you your options. Notice the one has the green arrow, meaning that that's going to be the correct option. And then as you scroll down, the next one's going to be the wrong option, and you can add more after that. So here I'm going to type in for the correct answer, I'm going to type in Puebla. Down here I'm going to type in some wrong answers, Mexico City, and I'm going to give it one more multiple choice. We're going to say Guadalajara. Okay, now that I have finished that question, I'm going to go up. Well, where is it? I'm going to go down. Sorry. I'm going to hit save.
It took place.
And as you see now, there's now a bubble at the bottom of my video where the first question takes place. So now my kids have to answer this question before they can move on. Okay. Now I'm going to move the video farther. Oops.
It's May 5th, 1862.
So maybe I want to add another question right there. Okay, and again, I wouldn't suggest putting questions this close to each other, but just for the sake of showing you. So this time I want to add an open-ended question. I'm going to ask, in what year did the Battle of Puebla take place? I'm going to just leave that "you" there and let it bother all of you OCD people. And this one's going to be open-ended. So when they answer this one, they're going to have to actually type in 1862. So I'm going to hit save again. You're going to see the bubble's going to pop up down here again. Okay, and I can do this through the whole video. Okay, get them interacting, get them answering questions, making sure they're listening. Sammy, is that you then?
Yeah, so I can take over. If you want to stop presenting your screen, I'm going to chat for a second in case it cuts me off, because every time I go into this new tab, it glitches out. So I'm going to talk about in distance learning. Like I said, I've been utilizing this a lot. I've made my own videos using Castify. I've recorded on my iPhone and just uploaded to Google Drive. So I've used a lot of videos that I then would put on EdPuzzle, just because I know my students react well for my voice. They're used to hearing me and listening to me at my whiteboard. So I'm trying to make it as close to what they would see in the classroom as possible. So I've been putting those videos on EdPuzzle. So I'm going to go through how to upload your own videos. If you guys, I'm not going to actually pull it from my computer, because it does take a little bit of time to upload it. Like I had I think a 12-minute video. It took about a half hour to upload to EdPuzzle. So I already uploaded a little clip of my video. Just try to present my screen while I'm talking. So I can show you guys how to edit it, just like she did. And then just, I'm going to show what it looks like after in the grade book. Just kind of go through what your next steps would be and then how it syncs to the classroom. So let me get my screen up. Okay. So if this glitches me out, bear with me for a second. Okay, so hopefully you guys see my screen. So if you are on the home screen, you want to do content. Another cool thing about EdPuzzle, before I get into that, is that it syncs with Innis. So Memra and I both like to plan together, and if I wanted to see one of her videos or use one of her videos, if she sets it up with public, I can click on Innis Community Learning Center and I can see what other videos our lovely teachers at Innis have been making. So that's another really cool feature, like especially for common planning. So if I go under my content, you are going to see all of my videos, lovely still frames of my face that I can't figure out how to change. So those are all my videos that I've uploaded from my computer or my phone or whatever it may be. And how you would literally upload it is just add content in this corner. So they make it really easy for you guys, and you just would pull it like you would a picture. So let's say I wanted to edit this one. I would click the checkbox, and then it's going to give you, I don't know if you can see it at the bottom, hide that, all these options. So you can assign it right away if you already have questions. You can edit it and all those other options. So I'm going to click edit. So then it pops up as this, my lovely face. Okay, so I can then make cuts. So let's say I went on a rant in the beginning and I really don't want that in my video. I can literally just click and drag this, and then you would just literally click add cut. So you can, if you don't want the ending, maybe you said a little bit too much, you can cut accordingly. So that's a pretty neat feature. A voiceover, let's say you said the wrong answer, or you're like, I really wanted to explain that a little bit better. You can record a voice right in EdPuzzle, and then you can add it over the video. So it'll dub over your already graded voice. I haven't used it yet, but a lot of times, because I just end up recording my videos because I'm like a perfectionist in that sense, but you can just insert that right over your video, which is really cool, or if there's something you forgot to say. And then it's the questions thing that really went over really well. The note feature I like to put in randomly and just say, are you listening? Or, hey, did you get that? You can go back and rewatch now if you didn't get that. And then you can name it up here and just say lesson 2 or whatever you want to call it, and save it right away. So it's pretty easy to figure out, and that's why I love it so much, because it makes the self-editing process super easy to figure out. And then you would hit finish, and there it is. And if I were to add questions, you would see the little dots down here. And then you can hit assign down here. And you would already have synced up your Google Classroom, so it would show, I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. But you can start your start date, your due date, and this is the feature that I love the most. So this is the prevent skipping. I always have that on just so kids just can't fast forward to each question. They actually have to watch it. The only downfall is if they don't finish, let's say you were doing it in class. If they don't finish it in class, they have to restart it from the beginning, but hey, they're at least listening to it twice, right? And then you can post straight to Google Classroom, which is also a neat feature, so it links for you. can show you guys my classes. So I have one Google Classroom for all my kiddos. It's gonna look a little different, but if I wanted to add a class, it's just as simple as add a new class and it syncs automatically with Google Classroom. So this is my classroom right now. I don't really put assignments on mine, but this, or due dates on my assignments. So this is, it looks a little different, but all of your assignments would pop up here, and it's that easy to just assign to your classroom. If you hit gradebook, this is a little different because again, I have one classroom, so it's probably a little overwhelming with all of these kiddos in there. But all the assignments are up here at the top, whatever you name them, whether it be assignment number or just Cinco de Mayo, those all pop up at once. So I like to go to the individual assignments because it's not as overwhelming to look at. So let's say I wanted to go grade assignment number 2. So this will have all of the progress. So you can see some kids haven't even watched it yet. They haven't even logged into it, which is also really good for us in distance learning right now, just to know, hey, have they even accessed it? Like I have this student who logged into it, so I know he has access to it, but he didn't watch it all. It's also a really cool feature. Maybe they clicked onto it and then logged off right away. So let's go down to, let's just click on a random one. Our friend Demarion. So it breaks down each individual grade for each kid. So it's overwhelming right now in distance learning because you have so many. I have assigned, I think, like 5 EdPuzzles. But if I were in a classroom setting, it would be really simple for me to click through and grade this, which is why I like it so much. So it shows you their score at the top, how much time they spent on it, which is also very neat. So if you wanted to know how they individually did, like this first question, it says, how do you know if you are done solving an equation? It gives you what they said and then what the correct answer is. So let's say it was an open-ended question like Julie showed us, this is where your grading would happen. So you would be able to mark it right or you'd be able to mark it wrong. I haven't done any open-ended questions just because I want to save myself some sanity in grading throughout all this, and I just did multiple choice questions. But let's say I think he got it right, I would just click right. Obviously he didn't, but let's say I wanted to make a comment on the individual question. I can say, make sure you read carefully. Maybe he misread it and I want to just add a little bit of feedback for him, which is really neat, and it saves to each individual. So once I'm done grading the student, I can click next student and it'll go to the next one. Like I said, it's probably a little overwhelming right now just because I have all 120 students in there. I did see that Christy Johnson asked a question earlier about if they can if you can go back if you get a question wrong, if the student can. The answer is they can go back and rewatch that segment, but they cannot change their answer. So EdPuzzle, I know, is working on it because I think I even emailed someone from corporate about that because I was really curious if they can submit it multiple times. So the student can click rewatch and it'll take them to that specific part. Because if you're like me, I need to hear things a lot of times to, just get the point across. So you can't reset their answer, but you can reset their entire progress. So what that means is you can reset all the way back to start. So they would have to reset the entire assignment. But, I mean, it just depends how good or bad they did. And then an idea that I had was if they can't redo the question, like if you're in a normal class setting, you can have them do corrections on paper and just have them turn the corrections into you. So that's just, there's probably a lot of information talking at you, but I think that's all I had about grading and whatnot.
Who else has questions? What did we miss?
It's probably a lot. There's a lot that you can do with that.
I have one. So, Sammy, you said it took you 30 minutes to upload a 12-minute video. Is that normal then?
Yeah, it just depends on the length of the video and just I know a lot of people are using EdPuzzle all around the country, and I think it just has a lot to do with their servers being bogged down and whatnot. Like I just uploaded a 3-minute clip and it only took maybe a minute. So I think it definitely probably varies on your Wi-Fi speed as well, but I haven't had any issues with videos not uploading at all.
When you say upload, I came in late. Can you take a video from your Google Drive and put it directly into EdPuzzle?
Yes, so that's how I do all my videos. All I do is, if you're on the actual video on Google Drive, you right click it, and I always save it to my computer somewhere, or save it to like a folder on my computer. So then when you're on EdPuzzle and you hit upload, you can know exactly where. I haven't figured out how to exactly pull it from Google Drive to EdPuzzle, but I know that if you right click on the video, you can save it to your computer. Plus, I don't know if you have any suggestions on how to.
Yeah, I was just in the same boat. I don't think you can directly link to your drive yet, not that I've seen, but you can upload from your computer. You can also obviously publish your videos to YouTube and then find them within YouTube when you search that way as well. That I know Julie showed you that they have a strong partnership with YouTube, but they also connect with like National Geographic, TED Talks. Like there's a list of other partners that they're with that you can pull information from as well, and videos to create your questions.
Khan Academy is another really good one. I know the kids are kind of used to hearing our lovely friend Sal from Khan Academy teach them math.
That's where I was in a meeting. That's where that voiceover feature. I know some people don't like to listen to Sal, but he does great demonstrations. Right. So you could voice over and have your voice instead of Sal's, and still get the point across. You know. Yeah.
Because if you want to stick around, I can show you how to do the Google Drive video after.
So one other question, Julie, when you were creating your question, you had to put in there the wrong answers. What if they put a wrong answer that you did not type in there as a wrong answer?
So if it's an open-ended question, you have to go through and grade it yourself. But if you do so where I was typing in the wrong ones, that was for multiple choice. So then the kids are just choosing between them. So if they choose wrong, then it would mark it wrong. But if it's an open-ended, if it's what year did Cinco de Mayo happen, then I would have to go through and grade them myself, where Sammy showed you the yes or the no.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, you can comment feedback back and whatnot, so it's pretty nice.
Kara has a question in the chat. Yes, you can schedule, correct me if I'm wrong, Sammy, but the same as on Google Classroom. If you schedule it, it's going to release the day and time you schedule it for.
Yeah, and I usually don't put due dates on it. That one I messed up and did a due date, but you can change it every time to extend out. So it's really easy to edit your due dates. And then it'll post for you. And then it's really, I've had a lot of students who like can't find the assignment on Google Classroom, or for whatever reason, they ask me for the link. If you just click on the assignment, you can click on share link again, and it's super easy to send them the link. So you don't have to go back in your Google Classroom or tell them go here, then go. You can literally copy and paste a link to them, besides posting on Google Classroom, which is nice for a lot of our students. Another cool feature, you can download the grades. If you don't like looking at it in there, you can download it to an Excel sheet, which is neat, and then print it off that I've been using.
So again, EdPuzzles, if you are using videos, if you're using YouTube, like this is a great resource to pull and kind of make sure your students are watching and paying attention. You know, as compared to if you've seen some of the other products we've been talking about, it's definitely not as in depth, but I think it does a great job of what it does. You know, it is very simple. You can see there's only a couple question types, but it's very simple to set up. It's very simple to get out to your students, and you know, based on how much time you want to spend, like it can be an impactful tool to help them keep on pace. If you're going to be using YouTube in general, you might as well use this and throw some questions in and get some feedback from it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've had kids on their Chromebooks that can't open a YouTube video, but once I put it into EdPuzzle, because then it's coded as an EdPuzzle video, then they can open it. So that's another nice part of it.
I know a lot of teachers have been talking about using the grid method. This is something that I've utilized with planning the grid. Just and what is it? If the kids are ahead of me or ahead of someone else, they can watch the video on their own. Also another cool reason to use it. Think of what else in the video. A lot of resources you can find. Like if you have a worksheet that you really like or got from Teachers Pay Teachers, I found a lot of mine already like a teacher memor, and I like to do that. Like if it says adding and subtracting equations, blah blah, type that into the search bar, and half the time there's teachers that have already walked through that worksheet, which is really cool. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, like she said. You can already use something that was already created.
Last call for questions, and again, we'll stay on for a couple minutes if you need to, if you have any questions or want to stay. But appreciate the expertise of Ms. Fodor and Ms. Vandersummers. Great job. Thank you again. It's been great to see all of our experts this week, you know, sharing their knowledge and being so grateful with their time. I appreciate it. If you need to stay on, or if you have a question, or if you want some help or feedback at trying to set one of these up, we're always available to help. But other than that, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you.
Bye, guys.